Which graph shows a function with a domain of all real numbers greater than 7? Remember, the domain of a function is its x values. Okay? So, let's look at the first. Okay? If you look at the x values on this function, it starts, this is the function, look, it starts at 7 and it gets bigger and it just increases right from 7. So the domain of this function starts at 7 and increases all numbers bigger than 7. So we already know that the correct answer to this problem is A. Just so we can understand the difference between the correct answer and the incorrect answers, let's look at this function. This function is, even though it's at 7, x7 on the y-axis, this is the function y equals 7. But it is only for y being bigger than 0. As you can see, x is equal to 0. And it goes, this is the fixes. This is the domain for this function is x is bigger than 0. Because all we're looking at, again, is the x-axis. It starts here, doesn't include 0, but it gets bigger. So all we're doing is just going to the right. So here, notice that we started at 7. Here we started at 0. So let's look at the others. Look at this. If I was looking at the domain of this function, what? On the x-axis, it's just one thing. 7. That's it. 7 is the only element in the domain. The function does not exist anywhere else but where x is equal to 7. And the same case here. This function, in the same manner, is only defined at where x is 7. So these two have the same domain. These two functions, but they don't have the same range. This has a range where that's 7, all numbers greater than 7. That's the range. Okay? If I was looking for the range would be right there. If I was looking for the domain which I mark in blue, would just be 7. Okay? Again, the domain here is just 7. But the range starts at 0 and goes on forever. The blue line, again, the red line is the range. The blue dot is the domain. Again, the range here is all y is greater than 7. The domain, I'll write it again in blue, is just 7. The domain here again is 7. But the range here is all numbers is y less than 0, because it's going down. So numbers are getting smaller and smaller. Okay, it's not increasing; it would be going up. Okay, so I'm just using this one problem to explain all about domain range. Let's look at this one. The domain, as I retrace it in blue, it starts at 0, goes on forever. That's x greater than 7. But if I look at the range is only defined at 3. The only element in the range is 3. That's it. If you look at the x, y axis, that's the only place where the function exists. On the y, it's just at 3. And same case here, only at 7. So your range is 7. So that's the range of y, or element y, I guess. Same there, the range here is 7. Y equals 7, or 7. Okay? And the domain, and let's look at the domain. I've already got it in blue x. And again, it's not equal to, unless of course this was filled in. And let's see, is it filled in? Did I just fill it in? See, it wasn't filled in. So, so that's just where 7 is. Okay. I hope that helped you out.